Welcome everyone to the DuoQueue podcast, an oceanic League of Legends and esports podcast. I'm your host Alicifer, and joining me also again is a lovely co-host Bensin.
Hi guys, and thank you once again for tuning in. Today we are joined by Skwiggle, an ex-member of the recently disbanded Avant-Garde Redemption, JKS from Team Extremers, and Guo, the jungler from Your Soul Shall Chuffer. Now, how are you guys going?
Alright.
Good.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's good. So for all of our watchers, this is live, so please make sure that you send all of your questions in Twitch chat, and we'll do our best to answer them at the end. We'll also put them to our guys. So, also, for our viewers, could we get a little bit of a bio from all of you? We'll start off with Justin.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm mostly known as JK Smithy. So I'm currently the captain and manager for Team XD, so a lot of us know us from being formerly Team Dignitas. So I still play top lane for XD. So pretty much when I'm at night, I play video games, and during the day I work, and that's the gist of what I do.
Alright, let's go with Eddie.
Oh shit, oh, yeah, thought it was Elliot. Never mind. I'm Guo, otherwise known as BigPapaGuo, otherwise known as lots of names. Jungle for YSSC. What else talking about? I had experience in previous other teams, like called X5 Luna back in last year, and just a couple of other teams here and there. And yeah.
Excellent. And lastly, yes?
Hi, I'm Skwiggle, otherwise known as Squiggly Puff. I was the support for AVR in winter, and I was the top laner for EV in autumn, and that's all my competitive experience.
Road EV.
Now, it's been a while since the League of Legends community last heard from a lot of you guys. What have you guys been keeping busy with?
So our team, as many know, we didn't make it into winter, and that was a pretty big blow for us. Basically, that meant we didn't have many tournaments to play in for the next 2 months, so we kind of took a break, especially it was end of semester for most of us who were in uni, so we were kind of like, there's no point in practicing for nothing coming up when we've got exams on. So we took a bit of a break, and then once the semester finished, around middle of June, basically, we already knew that our next event would be ACL Sydney, so we've basically been practicing hard since then, with the aim of basically competing in that event and doing well, and hopefully, later on in the year, competing in the regional final and hopefully winning that.
And Guo?
So yeah, basically YSSC, the team I only joined after winter. Basically YSSC, they had Zyro as their jungle, and they went to winter, got unfortunately knocked out before NV, just before round of 4, sorry. We thought pretty gutted about, and then Desire decided to leave and then actually join XD, and then after that I went to YSSC. So yeah, basically we're going to ACL Sydney, flying down there on the Friday, and yeah, hoping to do well.
Most definitely. And lastly?
Yeah, AV, we made tied 5th along with YSC. We got knocked out by Curse to make it into top 4. Sadly, we didn't make it to Supernova. And upcoming, we made it into AvCon, which is in Adelaide, and we're heading to that land this weekend.
Awesome. So, tell us a bit about why you have all transitioned into new teams.
I'll go first, I guess. So basically, with us, Rippy decided to leave. I think just he didn't have a whole lot of competitive experience. He did well while he was on our team, and he kind of decided he thinks it would be best, I guess, for both parties if he left. And that was around this. That was actually okay. I'll backtrack a bit. So Little Uber Giant, our old support, decided to leave, and as many people know, that was because he is basically gunning to be like a professional AFL player. So that meant that we needed to get a new support. And then on top of that, soon after Rippy decided to leave us, and that meant we had to look for a jungler. And then a few weeks after that, Kensti decided to quit League for a couple months for study. So that just basically left me and Uber Giants Bro. And then we picked up T-Gun as support. And then we moved Claire back to mid because Claire was our old mid before Kensti, and he'll be 17 this August, so he'll be like old enough for the regional at the end of the year. Then our last player, and then yeah. So once winter concluded, we're still looking for a jungler. We were like trialing a few, Guo being one. And then in the end, Zahid joined us. So that's where we're at right now.
Beautiful.
Go for it.
So why did I join a new team? Basically, I was on a team with Skwiggle. When Skwiggle was back top lane. He's back to top lane now, but yeah. Basically, I was on AV with him, Skwiggle, T-Gun, Rusty, and Will2G. And yeah, basically, we qualified both autumn. We qualified for autumn. We left that. And then after autumn, I kind of just sat around, didn't really do much. Started solo queue, did stuff. Studied on, worked on. Like I left AV after autumn because I'm in second year engineering at UQ, so I was just doing lots of study and trying to not fail. And then basically, after winter, I just sat around solo queue. After winter, YSSC, Zai left, and then basically they just asked me because I'm good friends. I was good friends with them before because I was on a team with Dean and Jack, the X5, and I've known Cheese for a good time. He's a really good friend. So that just things happen, and that's how it works. That's why I'm on YSSC now.
Fair enough. So yeah, as far as AV went, we made top 8, of course, as I said earlier, and after that we lost Nex and Profound from the team, and after that we were gonna bring in some new people into the gaming house, but unfortunately we got dropped shortly after they left. So currently we're making a new team. Spoil, me, and Psycho, and yeah, it's going pretty well so far.
It's good. And like considering the amount of like shifting and changing that is within the oceanic like industry right now, and the new like I'd say legislation that's coming in at the end of the year or whenever it was end of the season about national like international organizations picking up other teams from different parts of the world. What are your thoughts on esports as an industry, and like considering the things that you guys experience with like being dropped by certain teams and whatnot? Do you think they made you stronger, or do you think they made you think that like drop your idea of esports as like a final goal and that kind of stuff? Like, did those experience make you stronger, or did they like weaken your outlook and everything? That's probably to Elliot and JK Smithy.
Yeah, I'll go first on this one. So basically, at the end of the day, even though it is, viewed as some people as fun, games and entertainment, to most people it's just basically a business. Like, there's no real hard feelings if teams get dropped. Like, it's understandable at the end of the day, and you can't really, sook about it. It's either like, you get going or you quit after that. And yeah, I think it's made us stronger. And it's actually allowed us to like broaden our search for new players, because a lot of people are very reluctant to join the gaming house. So yeah, I think in the end it could be for the better.
So for us, so I've been around in the scene for almost more than 2 years now. So I've so obviously seen a lot of teams come and go. Good teams like Chiefs and that kind of stuff that. People are like, oh, they'll catch on to IM, and then next minute they're gone. So I've been used to a lot of these team changes. So obviously when we got dropped as well, we were pretty shocked because at the time we had just not qualified, and it was kind of like that in itself was like enough to kind of set us back. But we got over it pretty quickly. So after a week, we're kind of like we're still motivated. We still want to compete with the very best in Australia. We want to make the regional finals at the end of the year. So overall, I think it was a good experience for us getting like an international sponsor, even if it was just for a little while. And then the whole process, it's just made us stronger. But esports as an industry, you kind of have to come to expect that it's so easily accessible for so many individuals. It's like just as easily, it's just as easy to get in as it is to like immediately get kicked out kind of thing. So you just got to get used to it. And that's pretty much what I think.
So do you feel like these massive kind of swap arounds, our teams kind of folding and then remaking themselves, how do you think that that's going to affect an outside view of the oceanic scene? Who wants to take that question?
Shot not.
No, I'll say, to be honest, I feel like, well, with a few international sponsors coming in, for example, Dignitas and Curse, having, well, as far as I know, I think Curse has dropped the lineup, somewhat similar to Dig, no offense there, JK Smithy. But yeah, it's just put a bit of a, like, negative view on oceanic esports as a whole. Like, these NA teams, if they think that it's not worth it and, they drop out as soon as a team looks like it's losing a bit of strength, then yeah, I think the scene needs to grow a bit more before the international sponsors come in, to be honest.
Do you think that maybe all of this will affect other sponsors coming to Australia? That they see instability?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it basically just well, it makes anyone think that if they want to like sponsor an oceanic team, that they might be a lot more hesitant in the future about it. Well, as I said, until the scene grows a bit more.
You guys have anything more you want to add to that?
Well, I mean, at the same time, in between the LCS splits, you saw like a billion different changes from all the other, like overseas professional teams. So it's not like too new of a thing. It's more like in Australia, it's not a profession, so we can't commit the time to it. And like that talent pool of players is a lot smaller than what you have overseas, and it's a lot harder to move. Like someone. So obviously, in the US, they've like flown over Koreans, they've flown over Europeans. In Australia, you can't really do that. It's kind of really difficult to justify investing here for those reasons.
And something to add on that, like you got to realize for sponsors in Australia, what is it, like 26 million right now? I mean, like for sponsors, especially organizations who are like sponsors, all they care about is marketing and stuff like that. Investing so much, like as much into areas like North America or Europe, and the same in Australia doesn't really work because you don't have the audience here. So in like that sort of aspect, I can't understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, shying away a bit from that. But so, as you know, AVA dropped their previous sponsor, which is Avantgarde, and decided to create their own organization. Do you guys think there's like many advantages to not actually having a sponsor? And I'm not too sure how XD is working right now, JKS, but you went from having Frey and then Dignitas, and now to something I'm unsure of. Like, do you want to enlighten me a bit? Do you guys have a sponsor? And if you don't, is there many advantages to not having one?
We kind of don't, but let's just say we don't for the moment. At the moment, I'm the one managing most of it, so scrims, flights, that kind of thing. It hasn't actually changed much. So obviously, when we were with Dignitas, there was nothing really that they needed to ever organize. Like, so the only LAN event we had under their name was the regionals, which was organized all by Riot. But when we were with Frey, so we went down, to Melbourne for CGPL and that kind of stuff. That was all booked by us, and that kind of thing. So it's not actually much different to what we've been doing in the past, just organizing everything for ourselves. Obviously, some of us have friends in Melbourne. We stay with them for the LAN, so it's okay. But in between like work and uni, it is convenient to have like a manager and a sponsor, organize these kind of things for you. But we're not too fussed at the moment.
What about you, Eddie? I mean, you were in X5, which went to PAX and stuff like that. Was there many, and now I'm not sure if you guys have a sponsor or anything like that. Nothing's really been released. Is there many advantages to not having a sponsor because you were an EV and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, I just have to look. Basically, I've been in the team for only like a month, maybe 2 months or something like that. But I've talked to Dinian, and basically, Dinian's idea behind the whole thing is like, unless we get exactly what we want with the sponsors, there's not really any point. Of course there are, like, obviously having the freedom. Like, we've heard what's happened with like teams and management disagreeing with certain organizations, etc. And I guess you should have that sort of freedom to do with what you want. But at the end of the day, sponsors, like, I don't know, organization is always good. That's my opinion about it, but some people are different.
And maybe you'd have such a different outlook on it all, Skwiggle, considering how big the change was from moving all the way from Brisbane to Melbourne to being a gaming house and then getting dropped. I'm assuming that you find there's a lot more advantages to not having a sponsor right now, but do you want to give me a bit of a feedback?
Well, basically, it gives a lot of freedom for the team. Like, you don't feel so locked into a team, or locked into, doing things. If you don't have sponsors, you can sort of just like do things by yourself. The only thing that you really miss out on if you have sponsors is a lot of sponsors will fly you to small LAN events. And of course, Riot pays for like Supernova and stuff like that if you make the regionals. So yeah, that's pretty much it. They can give you a small amount of money. They can give you gaming gear. A lot of people find that very interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And this is more towards JKS, Smithy, and Skwiggle, but you were both in quite big organizations, like JKS being in Dignitas, which is really well known around the world, and then Skwiggle being in Avant-Garde, which is a really well known like a gaming organization for like a lot of games. What were the biggest advantages of being in such teams? Because other than the really cool tags that you get and everyone being like, wow, you're an Avant-Garde member, wow, you're Dig, what are the big advantages that come from being in those teams?
I'll go first. Obviously, there's the advantages you get from their sponsors. So, Dignitas is, like, this is an example. Dignitas is partnered with Twitch, so like that's why I'm partnered with Twitch. So even though I don't really stream much because I'm too busy, I have like a subscribe button, and that kind of thing. So that's pretty convenient. And that's just purely from like Odie saying, "Hey Twitch, sign our players on." We just signed a Twitch contract, and there was that. And then on top of all we didn't end up getting gear, but that's because it takes a while to organize, especially for them being based in England and then us being in Oceania. It's like difficult to organize with sponsors to get gear here because you have to go through multiple different people. But we did get all of our like hoodies and shirts and that kind of stuff. So that was pretty cool. So there's the like tangible goods that you get as a big advantage for having a sponsor. In terms of and then obviously like a huge one, especially in Dignitas' case, is like the exposure. The amount of people are just like, holy shit, you played for Team Dignitas. I know them from whatever game around the world, kind of thing. Even like I've had cases of me walking around in the city in my Dignitas hoodie, and people have been like, they've just stopped me and said hello and asked about Dignitas and that kind of thing. So yeah, those are probably the biggest ones. I think in a normal organization, they'd also like organize like all your flights and scrims and that kind of stuff. But in our case, it didn't really. It was probably leading to that stage, but we weren't with them long enough for it to actually get there. So, but yeah, that's most of them there.
All right. So, do you feel that not having the sponsors maybe hurts you a little bit because you then don't have those paid coaches that are really good at their jobs, and that's what they get paid for? Like with Dignitas and with Curse, you guys would have both had that. Do you feel like that's going to hurt you now that you would have lost something like that?
We did have access to like communicating with the Dignitas coach, but we didn't fully utilize it. So it's hard for me to gauge how much that would have helped us if we did. It's like obviously there's difference in time zones and stuff that made it difficult to communicate, but we probably could have because like I think we only actually were we were only with them for like a month and a bit, so we just and a lot of that was just organizing other stuff. It was during a busy period. We never really sat down and said, hey Odie, can we like work with the coach for dedicated amount of time, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just hard to gauge how much that actually would have helped us, considering we didn't really utilize the resource we had. But even now, we've got like an analyst helping us, and this is like just free of charge kind of thing. And so far, I think it's been pretty good. So, yeah.
And so with AVA as well, what sort of resources did you have having a sponsor that you now don't have, not having a sponsor anymore?
Well, I was actually on the AVR team, not the AVA team, but yeah, we got quite a lot of money from the sponsors. Of course, that's how the house got paid a bit for. Like half of the money was from one person paying rent, and half of the money was from the sponsors. And yeah, on top of that, we got some pretty good computers while we were at the house, and we also had really good internet, which allowed us to stream. It also allowed us to just like game as much as we could. And yeah, I'd say that the gaming house was a little underutilized and a little underwhelming, but still it was in the right direction. And I think the sponsors really helped us get there.
No worries. Okay, I have one more question for you guys. Just talking about sponsors, we've had a big kerfuffle in media recently, in the last week, with an announcement from the website YouPorn asking to sponsor an esports team. What are your guys' thoughts on that? And do you think that they might actually pick anyone up?
That kind of just looked like a meme to me. Obviously, they would know that like there's a lot of people who there's a lot of exposure to get with like esports. They would know that. So like they make that tweet, and then what does it get? Like thousands of retweets. That's like a whole like shit ton of exposure right there for just making one simple tweet. Like to be honest, I don't think any team would actually, unless they're like offered like $1 million or something. I don't know if they'd actually play under that brand. So.
Oh, I have a bunch of friends who'd be happy to just put it out there.
I'm just thinking of the people who actually have the ability, like the. I don't know if they would.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, no. It's in the contract. They can't actually do it. In the contract of LCS, there's something prohibiting pornographic.
I
sponsors or anything.
saw that too. That's true.
What if they like switched around the R and the O and just became YouPron?
You're onto something, Bensin.
I think I am.
Amazing.
Are you like the endorser of it? Like, the whole YouPron.
Can you read this?
Is it your website?
Oh, it's backwards. Oh, no.
Oh, nice. Well, I'd actually like to ask Squiggle's opinion on this one, because I figured this would be like kind of hitting close to home.
Well, I'm not sure. I think, given the offer, we would probably have to mull it over as a team. But yeah.
That's wonderful, Skwiggle. Now, back to the point. Sorry. So, as you notice, there's always like massive amounts of kerfuffles, like in EU and NA and Korea and all those kind of scenes when it comes to roster changes and whatnot. And it seems that Oceania is becoming a lot like that, because there's such a close-knit community and everyone kind of knows everything about everyone. What are your opinions on, the hate or the love you guys get? Because I'm sure you got a lot of mixed messages about being dropped by Dig, JKS Smithy, of course, no offense intended. And I'm sure that you leaving, the AVR house just becoming nothing. You got a fair amount of questions and hate/love. Like, what are your opinions on what the community says about, what happens to you guys?
It's pretty much to be expected in the end. Like, you always have the trolls out there, like the small 10-20% who will just try to get a negative reaction from you. But overall, I'd say that the vast majority were like really, fun-loving about it. Everyone was, asking questions, and when I explained it to them, they were just like saying, "Oh, best of luck in the future," stuff like that. And yeah.
Yeah. So I think. Well, like when it initially happened to us, I think I just avoided like social media and stuff, and even changed my name just so no one can find me.
Like, who the hell is Niwa?
Yeah. But I kind of like, I don't know. People found me eventually, and I stopped avoiding social media. And I don't know. I didn't find too many negative stuff. And usually with the negative stuff, it's pretty easy to ignore because usually they're just like idiots. So it's whatever. But it is pretty like heartwarming, and it feels really good when people encourage you, tell you to keep going, kind of thing. It's a big part of the motivation to keep on playing, because it's pretty demotivating. Not only did we fail to qualify, but around that time it was kind of like I think I failed like one subject as well. So it's pretty rough times, but yeah, it's good to see. Like it's great to see like encouraging words from like fans and stuff.
Yeah, and I've got a small question for Le PapaGuo, BigPapaGuo, the Guoinator. So what's it like?
baby.
What's it like now that you're actually on a team that like really has become something? Because YSSC was like the dark horse. They came out of nowhere and performed so incredibly well, and they had a 70-minute game with NV. Like,
Amazing.
have you gotten a lot of like supportive comments, or are you still just that guy that nobody cares
That guy. Is that a fact? No. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't really pay attention to much of the most, like, social media, stuff like that, Twitter or anything like that. I haven't been playing solo queue, but playing Counter-Strike recently. But yeah. I mean, to me, nothing's changed. Things are still the way it is. I mean, like, until we actually have, like a popular showing or something, like a good showing, like a LAN or something, I feel like I don't expect anything to change till then. Because a lot of people, yeah.
I reckon that
alright.
you should
We
actually
still
wear a
love
bow
you.
tie. If you wear a bow tie
Well-
to your first LAN event, Edward, I think you'd get some really intense exposure.
You buy
and
me
I
one.
think you'd
You
look
buy me
really
one before I
nice.
go to Sydney.
You can
buy me
lend,
one
you
on
can borrow
Thursday.
mine if you want.
You should come to Subway tonight. Come.
That's
Buy me both.
is that a date? Wow, a date on stream. This is working out so well for me. Anyway, back to the point.
So
I'll let you take this one, Lisa.
All right, so let's talk about patch 4.11 and 4.12. Who's read the recent patch notes?
Maybe.
Sure have.
Maybe.
I skimmed
Maybe.
over them.
All right, well, I think the biggest thing that we can all agree on is the Lucian changes. What do you guys think? Is that
What a time to be alive!
No, Bensin, we're not asking you.
Happy.
Well, so far, for anyone who hasn't seen them, the Lucian changes include some mobility increases, as well as lower range on his W, Q, and auto attacks, down from 550 to 500. And that's a pretty huge nerf, in my opinion. Like, that's lower than Graves, which is just like, the lowest range AD, I'm pretty sure. Quinn and Vayne might be down there as well. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be the thing that shifts him out of the meta pretty hard. Of course, there's been a lot of Lucian nerfs recently. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I reckon he's like going to be a tad stronger. I mean, a tad weaker now. I would place Graves above him at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think Lucien is pretty much kill. Like he's no longer like that versatile all around AD carry that you can just first pick or like second pick like whenever you want because he fits into everything. He's similar to Graves, just like maybe slightly worse, kind of in that he's probably got good all in potential, with a good like aggressive lane, that kind of thing. But so does Graves. But in the end, his range is really gonna inhibit his power and position safely and stuff. And dish out consistent damage. So I think like he can probably still be picked, but it's not one of those things that you would just first pick every game just because you don't know what else to pick.
I feel like
Do you
I've just
think
wasted
that-
108 games of my life.
Think about Denian.
Lucianian. Rip.
Lucianian. Anyway, sorry, go on, Alicifer.
That's okay. So do you think that maybe the mobility change to Lucian might kind of help him keep a little bit of a niche? At max rank, you can almost constantly keep E spamming, especially because it has no mana cost.
Well, I had this discussion earlier with someone, and my thoughts on the matter were he will have a lot more mobility, but he doesn't have the range to compensate for that. I feel like poke ADCs are a lot better if they have like some range and mobility. For example, I think Ezreal would just be like a tad bit higher than Lucian at this point.
And and a question for Eddie. I mean, sorry, Guo, because you know, you're growing to be one of the best junglers in Guotiana right now. And I was wondering what your opinion on the Quill coat is right now.
No,
because
it's not
you know you're I'm trying. I know that you play a lot of J4, even when J4 was terrible. But you know, what's your opinion on the Quill coat change? Because I know it gives a lot of health.
Yeah, basically, Quill Quote made one of my older favorite jungles come into play, which is Maokai. I've been playing a lot of Maokai recently, and Maokai is pretty good. I mean, like, it's really good because they've tried to obviously, the whole intent of like the Quill Quote, I would think so, is to try balance out the Elise Eve curve, like the power curve, and sort of make it a lot more balanced. And I think it's done a good job. I mean, like, you see Jarvan, it's brung Lee and Elise down, especially with the Ancient Golem change. Obviously now it's Quill Quote, and it's made Jarvan, Vi, Maokai, all of those become a lot better, and I think it's really good. And I think it's there's not much to say. It's not overpowered. I don't think it's underpowered. I think the warning thing is pretty novelty. I mean, I don't think it's that great. It's kind of like okay, but yeah, I'm happy for it.
Will Amumu be back?
Maybe I should try it. Dinian was telling me about how he did 4 AP Mumu. I feel like that's.
Wouldn't full AP Mumu not really make use of the...
Apparently he carried you. I don't know.
Damn, Dinian.
Damn, that must have been pretty hard.
Do you think that there might be any sleeper tank junglers out there that we had really...
Malphite Dream.
I think Nautilus is still terrible.
Garen.
Okay, let me open my...
What about Sejuani?
Oh.
No.
I didn't even
Garen
she
with
existed.
Tiamat. Garen jungle with Tiamat is the future. Like, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Nah, looking at the champions, I mean, like, Maokai was the only one that stood out to me. Maybe Zach, but I haven't seen too much Zach recently.
Yeah,
so.
Zach's really good.
Well, I haven't played it, and
because
if someone wants to prove me wrong, then go for it.
He recently got a buff that whenever he picks up his blobs, his W gets reduced by 1 second, which, like, in early levels is nothing because you get like a blob every 4 seconds and it's really kind of useless. But I can imagine him like towards the mid game would have really good clear speeds and with the Quill Coat, you know, be absurdly tanky. It's just I feel like Vi does everything Zach does, but just like a little bit better.
I mean, Zach might come in popularity in the future, but like for me right now, the only ones that really stand out that are like viable at this current moment that I think everyone values are Maokai. He's just.
Well, something that I want to add with Zach, I was actually playing him the other day in a solo queue game, and I noticed that if you get like 1 point in all 3 abilities, you can like get another 1 or 2 W's off each camp, which like does increase your sustain and damage to camps quite a bit early game. So I think I think he has like a bit of a place in the meta at the moment. He might like make a bit of a rise. I reckon it's just him and Maokai at the moment, though. Nautilus just has too much of a susceptible early game to the pressure junglers at the moment. So if he fights them pre, say, 6, 7, he just, like, dies.
Completely agree. Many times has Rengar sat in my jungle if I played anyone that doesn't have good clear speed. And it's just been a wonderful game. I love Rengar. Great champion.
Very balanced. Thank you, Ninfeng.
Do you feel like maybe because we have these tank junglers becoming relevant again that they might affect... how do you feel that they will affect laning? Do you feel like the assassin meta was more scary, or now that you've got the tanks come out?
Well, the idea with the tank jungles is like really tanky, lots of CC. So I guess that like exactly what you said, they might actually bring back the assassin meta, put a lot more damage based. Because like when you had like Lee Sin, for example, like I'm talking about Lee Sin in particular. I mean, you don't have the hard CC. It was a lot about like chaining the CC with mid lane and your jungle. Whereas now it could be like Maokai, for example, Maokai brings up so much CC, like 2 slows and a stun, or like a root. So you can actually, like people like Zed, people like all that. But I feel like I don't have a good track record of trying to theory craft and like trying to think of really like sleeper OP champions. So I don't want to. In terms of lanes, I mean, yeah, just dealing with the assassins might be a bit more an issue, especially with the hyper carry meta that's going around right now with Cog.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pantheon mid. It's coming back, I'm telling you.
Pantheon TF, the dream.
Telling you.
Let's do it. But yeah, on top of that, I think it might allow for some more or offensive top laners to come into the meta. You know, a shift away from the tanks such as Shyvana and Renekton and stuff like that. Because if you have a full tank jungler and you have a full tank top laner, it can be a bit underwhelming mid game if you can't really make anything of it. So yeah, we might see a bit more, say, Jace with the Essence Reaver buff, and a bit more, well, Aurelia, stuff like that. Congratulations, JK Smithy, on the Aurelia.
I've just been playing Vlad ever since that new skin came out.
Oh, true.
It's not as good as Bloodlord. Just sorry.
I don't
It's
know.
great.
I used to use Bloodlord all the time, but the sound effects in the new skin are just sick. So let's keep playing it. And I don't know, for some reason it seems a lot smoother than Bloodlord. Like just all the animations and like comboing just seems to go a lot smoother. So I've been using it. Pay to win, basically.
What about Rumble? Do you reckon Rumble's gonna make a resurface? Like, because he's great. He's got a cool skin.
I don't know. Like, so usually when like these new skins come out, like, or like like a visual rework. So you saw with Twitch, like he didn't actually change. He just looked different, and then people started playing him. They're like, hey, he's good. Whereas with Rumble, that new skin came out, people started playing him, and then people stopped playing him because he's not good. That's just how I see it. It's kind of like he's okay with TP, like he can TP and he's got like his long range ult, but he's not actually good at split pushing just because his 1v1 is not like if he gets all in by like a Jax or an Aurelia, he always loses. So you don't want to be like split pushing with a Rumble anyways because he's just like a team fight champ. And I think as long as there's like TP currently, every single top laner runs it. I just don't see much Rumble being played because of it.
And I've seen a lot of Olaf lately. Is Olaf finally coming back to like his golden throne? Because I remember for a long time in ranked, he was permabanned because he was stupid. And I'm seeing like a lot of people picking him and getting a kill level 2 because it's impossible to kill that thing.
Well, it's the same thing sort of as Rumble, I think. I think that like a lot of these quote unquote sleeper tops, they can do really well in some matchups. And say you play a Olaf into, say, a Jax or an Aurelia. The Aurelia or Jax won't really know that matchup at the moment because Olaf is such, like, a sleeper pick. And the same goes with Rumble. Like, a lot of people don't know how to verse Rumble in some matchups. So, yeah, if you're good at that champion, you can catch people off guard, I guess.
And as you're talking about hyper carries before, Eddie, so the Cogmore, Tristana meta, what do you think the reason behind that is? Because, I mean, there was a lot of itemization change in 4.10 or 4.11. 4.10. And that kind of, I guess, brought out those 80 carries. But do you think that is the sole reason why they're finally becoming, like, basically massive picks in ranked 5s and huge picks in solo queue like Tristana and stuff like that? Do you think, like, what do you think the reason behind that is?
I think
honestly,
I'll go first. So I think that, like, one of the biggest reasons is, like, the other popular picks. So with support, like the two most contested supports, like I'm pretty sure is just basically Braum and Morg. And if you look at those two, they're really, really good, peeling, safe supports. So they can, they favor having a hyper carry paired with them. And not only that, but like Kayle just got nerfed, but before that happened, Kayle and Lulu were basically, if they weren't banned, they were somewhere in a solo lane. They're either mid or top. And when you got those paired with like Morgana as well, or Braum as well, you'd like have a really, really safe 80 carry. So there's no point in like, protecting someone that can already, like someone who has low damage output and can feel for themselves like Ezreal. There's no point in picking like Lulu with them. But if you have those picks that are obviously like, they're just super versatile and like some of the best solo laners, you might as well also, pick a hyper carry AD like Hog, because he'll be super safe and just, spitting out damage the whole time.
Yep.
So with the changes also with Ari, so you're just talking about like hyper carries as well, and we're seeing a shift in our mid lane as well. Riot are trying to buff Ari to make her more viable for picks. We're seeing Orianna get picked up again. Syndra is being able to be played again because they don't have those assassin junglers that they have to worry about. How do you feel like this is going to affect team compositions? You don't have to play so safe because you're not so afraid of being destroyed from the jungle in a second.
Well, one thing that I used to like about having an Ari on my team back when she was Flavor of the Month was it's very hard to get ganked after level 6 if you're conservative with your ultimate. So I think that, well, with the whole jungle change, post 6, she's like, she was fine either way, I would feel, like, versus the assassins or the tanks. But yeah, I think that Syndra's going to have a much easier job because she's very susceptible to ganks that she doesn't expect and that she can't counter with her E.
Right,
Yeah,
sorry, Bensin, I interrupted.
Sorry,
you.
I was reading the chat on Twitch. Anyway, sorry. So with the 4.12 changes, you've noticed that the Essence Reaver is now getting built out of a BF sword, and I know none of you are really ADC mains, but do any of you want to shed a small amount of light and make it like see if there's going to be like any viability in it finally? Because the only times it was being used was like Jace occasionally and Ezreal with blue build. So do you think this BF sword is going to make it a little better, or is it just going to still be terrible?
Nah.
I think the biggest problem with it is like you're building it because obviously the BF sword and life like the vamp set they're also built into BT. So the reason you would build it is purely for the mana return, but like it's 3,700 gold. By the time you finish it, like usually you have like enough mana regen anyways. Because like the only time you really need that mana regen is early laning, so you can like trade and stuff. So spend it like by the time you finish it, you're not gonna even have mana problems. So it's kind of a waste. So why not just get BT and get like the extra shield, the extra lifesteal, that kind of thing. So that's how I see it. I don't think people will buy it unless they add like another component to it early that makes it give mana, that kind of thing. So we'll see.
And what is your opinion on these new jungle timers, Eddie?
Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, like, I was reading somewhere. Basically, at the end of the day, the game shouldn't really come down to, what do you call it? Like, even though, like, obviously you have an advantage from having the jungle time, at the end of the day, the game shouldn't come down to, like, being able to, like, count. I mean, I feel like that isn't really part of an issue. I mean, like, I'm indifferent to it. It's not going to change much for me. I already had timers in my head. I mean, like, for definitely the lower levels, it's a lot more important, and I think it actually might help foster, some like more competitive play, like fighting around time, like not competitive, but smarter play, like fighting around timers, fighting around objectives, baiting on objectives. So I think overall, I mean, as much as some people hate it, like competitive people hate it, I think it's good. I think it's good.
Fair enough. Alright guys, we have a really awesome tournament coming up this weekend, ACL Sydney. I hope everyone is going to be there or is watching. So, are you guys excited?
Definitely.
Sure. No, I am.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Good old Elliot.
The dream.
No, it's gonna be lots of fun. A lot of people are gonna be there. So
Yeah, you guys are going to be having so much fun. I bet you're excited to have so much fun at ACL Sydney.
Yeah.
Right, Elliot?
I leave.
Yeah. 100%.
No, I'm excited.
Okay.
I mean, Monday. Yeah. Sorry. Go. I was just saying anything.
No. I find it more exciting because, it's finally a time because we're all over Australia and we finally get to see each other again. It's great. I love it. And also hosting it for whatevs. Anyway, so let's talk about the matchups and the teams. For the viewers that are watching, could somebody please tell us who are in the top 8?
Oh. Let me think.
Some of the
Can we
questions.
go? Should I guess with it? I don't mind.
The teams.
Yeah. Go for it.
Wait. So what am I supposed to be saying who the teams are?
Yeah.
Well, there's XD, there's YSSC, IM, Legacy, NV, Blackjack, AKG. I feel like I'm forgetting someone.
AKG.
Yeah.
Okay, Jiren. There's one more.
That's going to be rad meeting all those fellas.
UTS.
Yeah, UTS. Yeah, so UTS replaced the
Oh, that's right. They
um.
replaced the Chinny Boy Pools.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry, continue.
Chenny Boy's still playing. So is Chuffer, but it was the ones that aren't flying down, I guess, that got replaced.
Thanks to Brizzy Boys.
Yeah.
Represent.
Anyways, yeah. Those are the 8 teams, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Hope so.
So what are you guys doing in preparation to get ready for this event?
Scrimming. Like a lot of our preparation is around just discussion, because obviously we had like 4.11 not long ago, and then we're having 4.12 tomorrow. So a big part of our preparation is just discussing what the hell we're gonna play on the weekend, because everything's changing literally like a day before. We've like been practicing, some specific stuff in scrims, to see if, hey, I think we're good enough to bring this out at ACL. But yeah, the like close proximity of all these patches right next to the event has kind of like changed how we've prepared for this particular event. But in the end, it's like a lot of games, because it's like two group stages, and then everyone goes through into like a double elim bracket. So during the tournament, there's also a lot of time to prepare and discuss things in between. So we're not too fussed about that.
Yeah.
And do you find that it's harder to get to tournaments now that you guys actually don't have a sponsor?
Well, we've always we have to fly Claire up, because he's still in school and he doesn't really have the money. But I work like heaps. I'm fine in terms of money wise. And like in the past, we've always organized our own flights anyways. So it's not really too much of a hindrance.
What about you, Edward?
Basically, yeah. For me, like JKS with their work a bit, so it's not really a lot of an issue. And I think a lot of us, like, from a set, like, we always keep in mind when, like, for example, for me, when I won the $500 from Winter, I always kept in mind, like, I might have to use that in the future, for example. And, like, I just kind of keep that in mind when I'm like, thinking about spending the money. And I just keep a little bit to the side, spend on things like that. Just
in case of a rainy day, right, buddy?
Rainy days.
Yeah, and what about you, Skwiggle? I know that you're going to a tournament. You're leaving tomorrow, I believe, to Adelaide. What's going on there?
I actually believe it's the day after tomorrow. I'm not sure on that one.
Correct.
But nonetheless, I've had a bit of, pocket money saved up because, well, I used to work before I moved over to Melbourne. A few of the tournaments that that the team won, like, I've still got leftover money from EV winning Autumn, which I only got a few months ago. I've got 500 coming in for the winter split as well. And I've just got a bit of excess money. Plus, if we come first or second, it's a net profit in the end. So I'm fine with that.
Sounds good. Now we have a gigantic amount of community questions, which is expected because we've got such a trio of high-profile League of Legends players on this podcast right now, milady. Now, our first question is from Destiny, and this is
Destiny.
for you, Eggwog.
I hate you, Destiny. Destiny.
Now, we just want to know if Udyr is strong in the meta.
The Destiny is a complete troll, and I hate him, and I'm going to bash him up at ACL. No, yeah, I think Udyr is alright. I mean, Udyr will always be solo queue. I mean, no offense to XD, etc., but I don't think, in my opinion, that Udyr will ever make it to competitive unless big things happen. I think he's good in solo queue. I mean, you can hard carry people in solo queue, as shown by Destiny today in solo queue. He pooped on me, but let's not talk about that. And yeah, I think he's alright. He's never going to be competitive, but he's a good solo queue champion.
Did we lose
demonstrated by
Alicifer?
Rippy? Probably.
No, there we go.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. So I've already asked the first question. You got the next one.
No worries. So, I got the question from... What on earth is your name?
The Doctor of Awesome 95. That's
Graham.
I need my
That's Graham,
glasses.
right?
I'm sorry. On a scale of 1 to Rengar, how good is Quillcoat and the new Ancient Golem?
This is for me again, I'm assuming, because I jungle. I think, I don't have an opinion on, like, it's good. I think it's just, like, well, it's good, but I just feel like it just brings back other champions. I don't think it's really comparable, because, like, when you think about, like, Elder Lizard, Spectral Wraith items versus Ancient Golem, it's really hard to compare them because they do such different things. But all I can say about Ancient Golem is that I'm really happy about it because it brings back other junglers. That's all I can say. I can't really say it's really good. It does what it does.
Creates viability, and it also smoothens out the curve of a lot of the tank junglers who have
I
a
don't
bit
think
of
it's
a
especially. Yeah, I don't think it's especially overpowered, underpowered. It just makes things viable. My opinion on it.
So, about 6 or 7 Rengars out of 10, depending on how you rate Rengar, I guess.
Rengar
Are we
is 7.
are we Rengar 07 or are we?
Yeah, Rengar 7 is a 10 out of 10. He's a great guy. Anyway, so we have another question from Neonaquist. Apologies if I mispronounced your name. How far are OS off of having full-time teams? How close are sponsorships covering team house wages, living, etc.? Or is that sort of money reliant on an LCS type league? Probably go to JK Smithy for that one because he's the money man.
How far are OC off having full-time teams? It's like, I think at any time, like, you can have full-time teams. It's more like there's no real point to, unless there's something like an LCS. Because you're not going to make a living off, like tournament winnings and that kind of thing. Like maybe if you, like, it hasn't happened yet, but maybe there will be, like, a streamer, from Australia that can live off that. But there's no real point in playing full-time until, you're actually employed to play kind of thing. So, like, I've always said this, whenever asked, until there's like an LCS, there's no real point. As for the other part of the question, sorry, how close to sponsorships covering team house wages, living, etc.? I think like there is like obviously Avon have their gaming house. Like there is the money there, so it's not specifically reliant on an LCS, but there's just like little point to having one without that kind of consistent like high level competition and like viewership. You look at the LCS streams, they have like 200k viewers, that kind of thing. So I think it's not so much a matter of like if the ability is there, but more like just to do with like viewership and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right. We have a question from Modbrack. Who is your favorite player to watch in international LoL?
Well, personally, as a top lane player, I would like to say that I really idolize Flame. I reckon he's like the best top laner in the world, and he always just plays so consistently well and like out CS's everyone. So yeah, he would be my favorite player to watch overall.
Dyrus?
He's very entertaining.
Why are you so mad, Dyrus?
I don't know. And entertainment-wise, I just always like watching Faker because I think he's the best. So.
He has a stream?
Oh,
Yeah.
are we talking about streams or are we talking about?
Oh wait. Oh no, never mind.
Oh well, like international tournaments, he's always the funnest to watch. He's not like super cocky, but there is that kind of like, he just knows that he's good kind of thing. He always like when he picked Syndra into. Like he picked Syndra at All Stars to take it away from whatever his name is, like in game.
Xiang.
Yeah, Xiang, whatever his name was. But little stuff like that. He's got this humongous champ pool, always playing different champs, and they're always doing well with him. He's just the most interesting to watch for me.
And Eddie?
Yeah. Honestly, even though like obviously the whole drama between Gab and etc. But I always really liked Iron Prox. So when I watch international league etc. I'm watching it to see like the new stuff they're pulling out. Obviously, Diamond Prox was at the forehead of sort of theory crafting for the jungle. And even though it's not that great now, I just think that it was really entertaining just to watch him pull out random stuff and make it work with it, and like look at the team comps, see if I can maybe I can do this, something like that.
Watching him pull out that Shyvana in the first Worlds, and everyone was just like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then watching him just destroy with it.
The best thing I've ever seen. Diamond Prox pull out was Jungle Karma. And I've played Jungle Karma. I've played that. That is still incredibly fun.
Oh, I remember the times.
Jungle Karma is
hilarious.
It's awesome.
It's pretty good.
Now, a bit of an opinion. How do you guys think that... actually, no, sorry. This is a question from Maxi77. How do you guys think Legacy will go wildcards?
Well, it's really hard to say. If they play as well as they did at Supernova, I reckon they've got like a pretty good chance. They played like very well. all of their players were on point. Every single person like carried a single game. So yeah, if they pull that out, I reckon they've got I reckon they've got a good opportunity. I've heard that they haven't been going too well in scrims, but scrims don't tell the whole story. They could be like waiting to pull out something massive that can just give them victory.
What I understand, they have been practicing new stuff, so it's understandable when they're trying new comps, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Personally, I didn't think they had much of a chance until I found out that there's actually 2 wild card spots. They don't even have to verse like Brazil. So I think who do they have to verse? Like Russia and Turkey, I think it was.
Yep.
And that immediately I'm like, okay, their chances have basically like increased tenfold. But at the same time, it's still gonna be pretty difficult because they have very little like international even they played the regionals, so they got a bit of LAN experience, but it's not that much. But they especially like on the international stage where the crowd will be like much bigger. The stream will have like hundreds of thousands of viewers. So it'll like if they can handle that pressure, I definitely think they can qualify. But it'll come down to like nerves and that kind of thing, I think.
It's definitely a massive factor. We have another question from... Oh, sorry, did you want to put in your 2 cents, Eddie?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like, they're, like... I think they have a good chance. They have a really good group stage. That's, like, they've... Obviously, with the 2 qualifying spots, they got lucky.
Yep.
And that's the end of it.
That's what you're putting it down to. No worries. Sorry. Next question from Onion P. What are the top 5 junglers at the moment in the current meta?
Ooh. DuoQueue or competitive? Because they're very different, I think. Oh, maybe.
Let's go competitive because that's
competitive. Oh, okay.
Well,
Jarvan, Lisa. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I've been watching a bit of the EU LCS, and like the jungle meta hasn't changed much from 4.1 to 4.11. Either because the patches came in quite late, or because the teams haven't practiced that stuff much, so they just thought, we'll go with the old stuff and leave it for this time. But yeah, I think solo queue would be like the best, indication of what's going to be meta soon, because because of the patches changing so much. So yeah, continue, Eddie.
Jarvan, Lee, Elise, Eve, and the last one's always the one of contention. I feel like it's the same for solo queue. Actually, now that I think about it, it's the same for solo queue competitive. Jarvan, Lee, Elise, Eve, and then the last one, I think Rengar. I've heard about Rengar. I think Rengar in Korea apparently has a really high ban rate, so I think Rengar's actually quite up there.
That means.
But it's not. No. It's not insta burst Rengar. It's throw flare tank Rengar. Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless.
I think that's probably up there. From what I've heard, I haven't played Rengar apart from like playing the solo queue, Let's Go, Old Lizard, and Tiamat, etc. But I think that from what I've heard from other people, Rengar's probably the 5th.
The thing with Rengar and his popularity was because of his enhanced savagery, which is his Q, doing a double proc for on-hit items, which is what your Madreds is. That's why it was such a huge thing. But in this recent patch, since they're taking it away, we might see him fall off a little bit more as far as feral flare is concerned. What do you think about that?
I mean, I haven't practiced. I mean, like for me, Rengar has sort of been like it's because ACL, I wasn't going to bother trying to practice Rengar or like understand Rengar. I was going to focus on like 4-5 champions, stick with that. But what you said is true. Then maybe it would affect it. But Rengar was just so good in terms of catching people out, getting really good vision in the enemy jungle, and just like making catches and then getting objectives from there. It was so good with the catch comp. Yeah, might affect it, but at the same time, you got to realize that Rengar's power comes in its ability to catch, not really just the pure damage. Some aspects.
Of course. And also the pink ward pressure, I think it, shows, like, if a team buys enough pink wards to just, like, render Rengar useless, then, it's decently easily counterable. Somewhat like Eve, but then again, they have to sink quite a bit more money into those in the early game. which can put them a bit behind.
We got a question from Takua16. Will you guys get the new Mecca skins?
Definitely. I've been playing. I've always played a lot of Malphite, so any new
Same.
skin for him, I'm always gonna get. I haven't played too much Aatrox, but like, I'll probably just get it anyways. I got like excess RP.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting those two as well.
Yeah, I don't play either of those champions. I mean, like jungle Aatrox, maybe. I don't know.
Jungle
It was really
Malphite,
good.
bring it back.
I used to play it. I was in plat. It's pretty good.
I thought it was going to be really good with Throw Flare. Turns out it still sucks a lot. So let's not go there.
Yeah.
All right. We have a question from Bag of Swags. Hello, Alicifer. Hello. Can you please ask the guys who you think the best AD carry is in the Oceanic scene right now, as in player?
Guess.
You go first, Elliot.
It would have to be Spoil from AVR. That guy's a god. Nah, I'm just kidding. Of course it would be.
Oh!
Nah, I would rate him. I would rate him up there though. But nonetheless, I still think that Radier is very top tier. Like that guy is just very smart, tons of game sense, still has good mechanics, massive champ pool. So yeah, I would rate him number 1 at the moment.
JK?
Yeah, I'd still rate Radier number 1. Although, like, he was number 1 by a landslide, like, maybe a year ago. But I think he's fallen off a little bit, and everyone else has caught up. So, like, Uber Giants Bro, Cardred, I think are both pretty darn close to him right now. And Denian as well.
Agree.
How about
I think
you?
it's the exact same thing. Yeah. The disparity between these skill levels and the AD carries now is a lot smaller than it used to be. I think Radier just edges ahead, but we'll see. See how it goes in the future.
There's actually an up and coming ADC. His name's M for Moon. I think you guys should really watch out for him.
You're not even talking.
Anyway, we got 2 questions left. We have one which is directly directed at JK Smithy from Rizul2. Why are your eyebrows so angry?
I'm always angry. It's my secret.
Are you the Hulk?
I hope not.
Alright. Well, I hope that answered your question. I am Limits Intel. If you could switch, if you were able to switch shoes with any LCS All-Star, who would it be, and why would you choose that particular player?
Oh, okay. It's like a metaphor. It's not like actually switching shoes.
Yeah, I'm not much of a shoes fan, so I didn't see the point. Yeah,
Well, what about
continue.
Hot Shots sandals, though?
Oh yeah, no, I would definitely aside from LCS, I would probably trade shoes with Carbon for when he went on stage at Supernova.
God bless.
I'll just leave it there.
Eddie?
I don't know. Go JKS for give me time to think. I don't know. Good question.
I would probably just switch with Dyrus so I can play like top lane for TSM. I think that would be pretty cool. It's TSM fan favorites usually, so you got the whole crowd behind you kind of thing. So it'd be pretty fun experience, I think, playing on stage in front of thousands of people as a TSM player.
I would have to say that I would love to be on C9. I just idolize Balls really hard. I reckon that as a 1v1 top laner in the past, he's just been such a positive force in the NALCS.
So, Eddie, have you thought yet?
Yeah. Why not Cloud9? I think Cloud9 have cool jerseys. I don't mind. I like it. I think it's what do you call it? Cloud9 are good. That's all it is.
I'd probably like I mean, if this question was asked to me, I'd probably switch with Scara just so I could look at I'm a Cutie Pie all day. To be honest, like, that'd be sick.
It's beautiful.
I love him so much.
I never put that much thought into it. Damn.
Anyway, so we've got a funny question, apparently. Now, obviously, you guys have come through a lot of struggles to where you are right now. Having a good coach and manager would definitely have made that experience easier. If you could choose any celebrity, doesn't have to be league related, to coach/manage your team, who would that celebrity be and why? Skwiggle, well, you look most lit up about it.
Chuck Norris. That guy knows what he's doing.
Good response.
I guess he would teach us how to kick some ass up land. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Get gains like Nex.
Beetle.
Bad games.
You just like win by everyone forfeiting. It's like screw that.
Oh god, Squiggle's here. JK?
Probably say Slayer's boxer, StarCraft player. Just having him there would be pretty motivating, I think. I can't remember. I think I read somewhere where the Korean national team just had like StarCraft professionals in their locker room just purely to motivate them. I thought that was pretty funny.
Jesus. It's beautiful.
Edward?
I'd have you, Benson. I'd have you. You could be my manager. I think it'd be cute.
Well, that's weird because I would have you, Edward.
Oh, this is so cute.
I would have
right
a you and Skwiggle hybrid as my coach and manager.
Can we not? I don't want those images on it.
He just wants you with the squiggle hair.
If anyone can actually like meld their faces together,
Don't do it.
I
No,
would
I'm done.
very much
I'm
appreciate that.
I'm done.
Just
Yeah.
reminds me of the fusion image that I made a while back.
Oh yeah, where even is that
DuoQueue
image? Oh, it's somewhere now. It's somewhere
it's not
deep
on
in the
this
internet.
computer.
Deep in Queensland lol, which is pretty much the internet. Let's be honest here.
Actually, hang on, no, we're gonna actually have something serious here. Now, I will give someone right points if they can make a really amazing Edward Skwiggle hybrid
Don't
in
do it.
Photoshop.
Don't do it.
Guys, do it.
I will,
Do
and
it.
you have to post it to on the thread in Queensland LOL of me posting about this stream. Please, I'll give someone like I don't know, like $5-10 right points.
It's a good deal, guys.
You're so clingy,
Get on.
Benson. Oh, God.
I love you, Edward Guo.
So clingy. Like, I need some space, Benson. I need some space.
Start like
And
a war.
Jason will tweet it out on DuoQueue. So do it. Make a beautiful hybrid of those two beautiful people. Like just you can if now I blocked out Alicifer and I just have Edward and Elliot there. Looks quite good.
Oh, my God.
Love you too.
Beautiful.
Alright. I think that is all, guys. So, before we have do a closing, is there anything more you want to ask them, Benson?
No. Actually, no. I do have a few questions.
That's.
I've got one question for Skwiggle, and I was just wondering, Skwiggle, if you'd be able to get Spoil to wave at the camera, just for all the viewers who love Spoil.
Oh, true. Hey, Justin, wave at the camera. Come on.
No, we need your face,
Come
buddy.
on, get in. Come on. They asked you to. Come on. He's camera shy. Come on. All right, I'll move it to you. All right.
Please run away.
Watch him run.
Stop being so shy. Come on, get in.
I don't want to be in this thing.
He doesn't want.
It's okay. I'll find a picture of him.
There it is.
And I've also got one more question for Edward.
No.
Now, a lot of people here, they play video games and stuff like that, and they were just wondering what the optimal, dietary requirements are to look as good as you.
Oh, shit ton of Subway.
What exactly do you have on your subs, Edward?
I have, what do I have?
All right, that's
I
good.
have steak and
Anyway,
cheese.
so I'll give that to you now, Alicifer, to close out the stream.
No worries. Alright, so thank you everyone for joining us today. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook, as well as on YouTube as well. Sorry for repeating myself. Thanks to everyone that tuned in. Make sure you follow each and every one of us, especially our guests on Twitter. You can see all of their links under their names. This has been a DuoQueue podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We're signing out.